Right, YouTube, how's things? You're obviously clicked on this video because you want to know how to change the rear wheel bearing on a classic Mini. Let's get to it. Basically, this is what your rear hub looks like once you've got her extracted, all crusty and that. See if I can focus a bit better. If you look inside, you can sort of see the old ball bearing type bearing, which is a wee bit rough to turn, and the grease is all very old and disgusting. Here's one I've just changed, going for the new Timken or whatever, however you pronounce that, tapered bearing. As you see, packed of grease, nice and new. So I'll just quickly take you through how to do this. As you can see, if you turn it over, you've got this plastic washer thing. I don't know what it's for, dust washer or something maybe. So you want to tap that out first of all. Best way I found was to get a screwdriver, flathead one, put it in there, and then just push down, hit it a few times with a hammer, and it should pop out. So we'll just go and do that now. Okay, so I've just popped this plastic dust washer thing, whatever it's called, off, and this is what you're presented with. Excuse my hands, all greasy. So to get that bearing out, I'm sure there's a technical way of doing it, but what I do is I get my flathead screwdriver again. You probably can't see this in the video, but there's a very fine gap just in there. If you just get the screwdriver and wedge it on, and then if you hit the screwdriver like so with a hammer, it'll pop the bearing out. So I'll just do that now. Okay, so there's the two bearings, one other side popped out. As you can see, it's the older type, the one with the little ball bearings. As I say, we'll be replacing it with the tapered bearing, the Timken make. Mini spares do them. So if you look at your rear hub, that's where the bearing used to sit. So I'll show you here. So the bearing used to sit in like that. Taking that out, you're left with this hub now. Now these little bits need to come out, the inner race I believe they're called. I'm sure once again there's a technical way of doing this, but if you look very carefully, you can just about see a wee gap there. If you get your screwdriver, pop it in like that, and then once again hit down with your hammer, like so, being sure to swap over and do the other way like that as well. Eventually, wiggling between 12 and 6, you'll pop the inner race out. Once you've done that, flip it over. Once again, you can just about see the wee notch. Get your screwdriver in there again. Tap it down, flip it over, do it again until it's fully popped out. So I'm just going to do that now. Right, so that's the first one we knocked out. As you can see, it was sitting in like that. We tapped it out. Looking in, you can see the two gaps I was referring to where to poke your screwdriver. So to get the bottom one out, as I say, get your screwdriver, set it like that, knock it down, same again that side, knock it down. Keep repeating this, wiggling it out slowly but surely until it drops out the bottom. Okay, so that's both of them knocked out. As you can see, they're sitting here. If you look at your rear hub, it sort of looks like there's a spacer. This has actually been machined. You can't take that out, that's solid. So we'll go over to our kit now. Mini spares kit. There's the order number. Let's see what we get. Get two bearings. There's one, two. The dust cover sleeve for the back of the hub. Split pin for the castle nut. Always replace that once you've taken it off. And a grease pack. Obviously I'm not going to be using that because I have my own tub of grease. You're looking for a high performance bearing grease. It's very cheap, £3.50 for that tub. No excuse not to buy it. Right, so basically what we want to do, take these bearings out. Is what you get. So this is the outer race, or the inner race, or whatever the hell you call it. That's the thing we took off. That's the old one. Unfortunately you can't keep them because this one has a slightly curved inner surface for the ball bearing, and this one here is obviously tapered because we're using tapered bearing. There's the tapered bearing there. That's the old ball bearing. The orange stuff is the old grease, by the way. So obviously I want to fit this into the hub. Obviously you're not going to be able to just push it in with your fingers because it's a tight fit. So the best trick is to get the old race, set it on top like that, get a block of wood, set on top like that, get your hammer off the floor and hit. Checking every so often to make sure it's going in square. So I'm going to go and do that now. Right, so that's it, halfway tapped in. You'll notice that your old race here is flush now. So when you're hitting it with your hammer, you've got nothing to hit. So all you simply do is just get the next old one, set it on, and hit it again, going around 12, 3, 6 and 9 until it's fully seated. If you look, there's a bit of a gap in there. You want this new bearing race to be touching that spacer. So just keep hammering away and then do the same for the reverse with the other new bearing casing. Okay, so you can see that's them both hammered home, tied up against the inner sleeve. They certainly ain't going anywhere. So the next stage, give everything a good lube. Run a wee bit around the inner surface here, both sides. Take your new bearing, make sure you get plenty of grease in and around these rollers, into these gaps. And so it basically looks like that, really. If I can get this thing to focus. No good. And then once they're in, you'll then hammer home your seal. It's just a matter of hitting it in until it's in. Right, let's go and do that. Right, that's both bearings greased and set in. So now all that's left is put this dust cover on. I usually rub a wee bit of grease on the inside of it and set her on, push it on like that, and then just tap it home gently until it's flush with the metal edge, and that's you. Fit them back to your rear swing arm, tighten up the castle nut. Bob's your uncle. Hope you enjoyed.